Good morning everyone, today we're going to be supercharging our account by adding in the Lars augments onto our weapon as well as armors. If you guys missed yesterday's video, we just made our armors, which increased our potency by 1.5%, but because of the power of multiplication, it actually ended up being like 5.7% DPS increase, which was pretty substantial. Now with that being said, I want to place a huge disclaimer over here saying that the Lars augments are not a necessity. These are a luxury item. This is definitely for the min-maxers out there or people who want to push their characters to their limits. This is not an item that everyone should have, alright? Because of the cost of these augments, they are ridiculously expensive. If we look at the Lars augments right now, we're looking at 22 million meseta per capsule. Alright, so like this is a lot of money. Now there are cheaper variants such as this one over here. This one is still going to like, 10 million, 11 million, 12 million in that range. So it's not cheap. However, if you want to pursue this, then yes, these are really great capsules to have. Now, something that a lot of people don't realize are these capsules have a 100% success rate. So you just need one capsule, you pop it onto your armor or your weapon, and it's a 100% success rate. There is no gambling involved. So in some cases, it might actually be cheaper to just straight up buy a Lars capsules versus some other endgame augments such as the Grand Gladiator, the Gland Gigas Maste, all of these, because remember with these augments over here, you actually need 10 of them in order to get a high chance of success rate. However, as I said before, personally, I do not recommend using that method. I prefer to just gamble and just use augment item protections, but not everyone has them, as those augment item protections are quite the pain in the butt to get. But enough of me yapping over here. I just want to show off my current potency is at 311%, alright? We're going to do all three armors first, and we're going to gain a 9% potency increase on paper. However, as you're going to see, it's actually a lot more than 9%. So this is our Alcostasis armor first. We're going to be putting the Lars Def Parfait. This is very, very expensive. Again, for regular folk, I do not recommend using this as you are talking about like 22 million. We are going to be replacing our Hystia Domina with the Lars Parfait. All right, there we go. We got the Lars Def Parfait. We've got the Addy Def Parfait. We've got the Grand Gladiator, Gland Gigas Maste, Lux Halfinale, Giga Trial, as well as our Grand Dreadkeeper 2. Start affix augment. There is zero gambling involved, and voila, confirmed. Complete. Now when we compare my new armor with my old armor, you can see the new armor gives 215 HP, 20 PP, as well as 48% all potency versus the old armor where it's 215 HP, 20 PP, and 43.8% potency. So that's definitely a pretty substantial increase in potency. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the last two pieces of armor as well. So here we go. And voila, now all three pieces of armor have the Lars Def Parfait. Let's take a look at our total potency increase, and look at that. We went from 311% potency to 347.8% potency. That is a whopping 36.8% potency increase. So even though, as I said earlier, on paper it was a 9% potency increase, but through the power of multiplication, it became 36.8% potency increase, which is massive. However, we're not done yet. We're actually going to be adding a Lars Def Mel Tech onto our weapon. Now, a lot of people might be a bit confused and be like, why are you using Mel Tech in specific, and why aren't you using a Parfait like all of your armors? Well, the thing about the weapons is you could only multi-weapon two weapons together. And as you can see through my little pictures over here, I currently have a katana and a rod multi-weapon together. Another way to check is simply by going to the second page, and you can see right here under multi-weapon, you can see that my katana is also multi-weaponed with a rod, which means my force class can use it since it's a rod, and my braver can equip it since it's a katana. Alright? So because I use rod and katana on this weapon, it just makes sense that I would want to boost melee potency as well as tech potency. Alright, with that being said, again, we're going to go add augments, our Acosalio katana, we're going to throw in our Lars Def Tech, and we will be replacing our Gland Gigas Maste with the Lars Def Mel Tech. For those who are wondering why I chose the Gland Gigas Maste over the Grand Gladiator, is because I do value that 7 PP. It is actually pretty significant. over the 5 HP over here. So that's the main reason. And then as for the reason why I didn't remove the Lux Hal Finale is because the Lux Hal Finale does give us the most potency. So at the end of the day, it's potency inspired. And then of course, the last one is really up to personal choice on the Grand Gladius Soul or the Gland Gigas Maste. Depends on whatever you want. All right, there we go. So it's going to be all of our EX augments first, then the Lars Deathmel Tech, Anati Deathmel Tech, Lux Hal Finale, as well as the Grand Gladius Soul. Confirm, and wabam. All right, now with all of that complete, you can see our potency went up to 355.3%. That is massive. That is really, really big. We went from 311 to 355.3. That is a 44.3% potency increase. So yes, that is pretty massive. Now, there is a downside over here as I did take a hit to my damage adjustment. My damage adjustment used to be 80%. It went down to 76.9%, nice, to 100%. So just understand that my damage variance is going to be greater. However, my overall damage is going to be better as I did massively increase my overall potency. My HP also took a small hit to 1,720 versus before I believe it was like 1,760 or something. So I did lose a little bit of HP, but I'm more than happy to take that hit with the HP as well as the damage adjustment for a whopping 44.3% potency increase. All right, next up, let us do our super unscientific DPS test over here and let us see how much damage we can deal. That was roughly like 24,000 DPS over there, which is all right. It's not too bad. Personally, I think I'll be able to hit a lot harder as long as I do my actual rotation. So, you know, again, when we actually use our Brave Combat, when we do Fearless Attitude, as well as weapon action counters, I think that is where we're going to see the most or the bulk of our DPS increase. Now, do keep in mind that my damage is going to be a little bit more unstable now or less consistent because, again, that we did take a hit to our damage adjustment. So when we're not critting, you know, our damage is going to fluctuate a little bit more. But nevertheless, I'm still very happy with all of these upgrades because, well, yeah, we're going to be dealing significantly more damage in general. So in conclusion, was it worth spending all of that money to get all of those Lars augments? If you're the average player, no, it's not worth it. You will see a DPS increase. However, it's definitely not worth all of that pain and suffering to get all the Meseta to actually get those augments and slap them onto your armor. Now, if you are a cash user and you're willing to drop money into this game, then sure, you know, it's no big deal for you since you're just going to scratch, you're going to get those augments, you can slap it onto your armor as well as your weapons, or you can sell it on the market for a pretty penny as those are going to go up in price significantly once that banner goes away. But again, I just want to clarify, for the average player, you do not need these augments. This is clearly min-max territory. Now, if you are a min-maxer and you do want to push your character to its limits, then yes, it is worth it because you do gain a substantial increase in power. It is pretty nice to have, but for all the content that we currently have available in the game, it's not really necessary. Like, I'm pretty confident you can complete Masquerade without having these Lars augments. Now, I will be running Masquerade. I will be recording my video when I get to floor 100. I'll go into their blind and hopefully we'll one-shot it and be able to clear it one try. Or maybe I will get absolutely demolished. I've heard some things here and there from my colleagues say that, hey, it is a little bit hard. Hey, there are some surprise one-shots or something along those lines. But I have not been spoiled by that yet. So yeah, in tomorrow's video or maybe the day after, we will be attempting Masquerade floor 100 with all of the gear that we have now. And that way you can see whether, hey, do you really need all this gear or not? But if you're just running regular PSE combat zones, farming the seasonal quests, you know, it's not necessary. You don't need this. This is super ultra overkill. You can just go in with your regular LC augments and maybe slowly upgrade to like mid-tier augments and you are going to be fine. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.